In today's episode, I will share with you a homemade recipe on how to make a perfect whole wheat bread recipe, or the Nigerian brown bread recipe. Absolutely moist on the inside and super rich. Hello everyone and welcome back to Queen Varieties channel, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel to get instant notifications whenever I upload new videos. Feel free to share this video with your friends, loved ones and family members, or anybody you want to share it with. Thank you. Let me remind you that all ingredients used for this bread preparation are fully listed in the description box below, so please kindly check it out, and also measure out all ingredients before you begin the preparation of this bread. So guys, for this homemade wheat bread preparation, we are only going to use 100% wheat flour for its preparation, and what I'm using is 1 kg of flour. So now I will be measuring it with my measuring cups to see how many cups of flour this is going to make, and if you're counting right now on your screen, you will notice it's about 7.5 cup of flour. That is what we are using for this bread preparation. And next I'm going to add my 50 grams of yeast inside the bread bowl, and then go ahead and pour in my sugar. Remember, you can find all ingredients in the description box below. Now I'll take my spatula and mix all ingredients before I begin to toss in my salt and other ingredients, so that you don't want your salt to have direct contact with the yeast, otherwise it will deactivate it. So now I will toss in my nutmeg. After that, I will toss in my salt. Next, I will go ahead and then add my butter, and I'm using about 300 to 350 grams of butter for this recipe, guys. And so once that is completed, I will now pour in my milk. So please make sure that all ingredients you're pouring right now inside your bowl is slightly warm, not hot. Make sure the ingredients, the liquids, are not hot. So now I'll pour in my vanilla essence and take my time and mix everything. Right now I will zoom into the bowl so that you can see what is going on there. So I will mix everything very well, making sure that everything is evenly combined. The wheat flour is still a little bit difficult and dense to handle, so I will go ahead and toss in 1 cup of warm water inside the mixing bowl, together with 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, which you can definitely substitute with some lemons. And then I will allow that to settle for about 5 minutes before we begin the kneading process, guys, so that the apple cider vinegar will work on the dough. Now I'll transfer it right to my dough hook and then begin the kneading process. So while the dough is kneading, I notice that the dough is a little bit sticky. I will go ahead and toss in about half a cup of wheat flour inside the mixing bowl. But please make sure you observe the bread texture while this process is taking place, because you don't want your bread to be hard. We are not looking for a hard dough, guys, because we want the outcome of this bread to be as soft as possible, you know. So you have to keep your eyes on it, and we are going to knead this bread for exactly 15 good minutes to achieve that elastic, you know, perfect dough. And right now on your screen, as you can see, after 15 minutes of kneading this dough, the dough is completely ready and super bouncing and elastic. So I will detach the dough right now out of the dough hook and then transfer it to my work surface. And right now on my work surface, what I'm showing you is how elastic this dough is. So this is exactly the outcome you should be targeting. So now I'll toss in some flour on my work surface and then drop the dough, so that, you know, we are going to coat this dough with the flour so that it will not dry, because what we are going to do now is to proof this dough to rise for at least 1 good hour. So I'll sprinkle in some flour in my bowl and then coat the dough enough with some flour and transfer it to the bowl. And here we are going to foil it and allow this to rise for 1 good hour in the warmest part of your kitchen. Right now in my kitchen, everywhere is cold, but I will just place it on top of my gas cooker, on top of my cooker, to enable it, to receive that warmth. While that is going on, I will begin greasing my pan, as you can see. So we're going to grease my bread pans. I'm going to use 2 bread pans for this recipe, a very big one and a very small one. So grease it with some oil or some butter and then toss in some flour on top of it and set aside. Oh yes guys, 1 hour later, and look at what we have here. The dough is completely risen. So what I will do now is to punch down this dough, guys, and you can see how beautiful that dough is looking, and then retransfer it to my work surface. Now this is where the fun part begins. So I will divide the dough into 2 sections, one large portion and a smaller one, which I will toss back into the bowl, and then coat the dough with some flour. But please be careful of the quantity of flour you use in coating the dough, because you don't want your dough to be very hard. And here is where you're going to focus very well on the screen and watch, because we are going to fold the dough into a bread shape. So what you will just do is use your hands and flatten the dough and begin to fold the dough inside itself, so that you develop the meaty aspect of this dough. This will enable the outcome of your bread to be very meaty, inside the bread, so that when you cut the dough with your hands, oh my god, and soak it in your tea and drink it, it's going to be very delicious, guys. This life. So what I'm going to do now is to use the edge of my palm like I'm showing you, and then fold the dough. Whenever you fold the dough, all you have to do is to seal it with the edge of your hand. Completely do that until the whole bread is folded, and then transfer it to your bread pan. So continue watching the screen as you can see what is going on there, guys. So far, guys, if you're enjoying this recipe and you want to try the agege bread recipe, I'll be linking that directly to this video in my description. Please check it out. And also on your screen right now, you can see a link that will pop up. Kindly click it and watch the agege bread recipe. Once you have completely formed all your dough into a bread shape and placed in your bread pan, the next step is to allow it to rise once again between 20 to 30 minutes. Now guys, this will depend on how warm your kitchen is. Right now in my kitchen, it is very cold, like I told you earlier on. So I'll be proofing for exactly 30 good minutes, and you can see how risen the breads are right on your screen. Do is to transfer immediately to my oven, and here we are going to bake the smaller loaf for exactly 20 to 25 minutes. Just keep your eyes on it. And then for the large loaf, we are going to bake it for exactly 30 good minutes, or maybe a little bit 32 minutes to 35 minutes, but it shouldn't be more than 30 to 35 minutes. And I'll also place some bowl of cold water in the oven during the baking process. 30 minutes later, after the baking process, and guys, look at the outcome of the bread, looking so yumnicious and so delicious. I hope you guys can like the outcome of this bread. It's so nice. And right now in my kitchen, everywhere smells so bakerish. You know, it's like I'm baking thousands of bread in my kitchen. The bread is so soft, so fluffy, so beautiful. So you have to allow the bread to completely cool down before you begin the cutting process. But I couldn't wait for this bread to get cold. In fact, I was so eager to dive into it, and right now I'm cutting it while it is warm. But I recommend that you cut this bread while it is already very cold, you know. So this is the outcome of the bread. It's so nice because I love to eat my wheat bread or my white bread when it is hot, you know, when it is warm. I prefer it like that. It's delicious. And this is how the internal part of this bread is when I tear it in the local way. Like I told you in my agege bread, don't mind me, guys. So you just mold everything together and drop it in your tea and enjoy a beautiful experience. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I really hope you have enjoyed today's recipe. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please share this video with your friends and family or anybody you want to share it with. Until I come your way next time, bye bye.